Yabba Dabba Do is right, because in spite of everything going on in the world around us,
Friday.
We made it to another Friday.
We did.
Yes,
we did
indeed.
make it to another Friday.
Wow, indeed.
Yes.
Whoa.
And we got a really special guest waiting.
We do. So we're going to, normally we spend a couple minutes with a few pleasantries and
we'll do that
catch
later.
up. Yes, we'll do that. But we have a very important guest on the line right now. And our listeners will remember Senator Gail Harrell when she was Representative Gail Harrell. And she would call us up when she was in transit between Tallahassee and here, and we would get the legislative updates.
Right.
But now we get more local updates we're going to get from the senator. How you doing, Gail?
Oh, thank you. I'm doing very, very well. And so appreciate being able to give you kind of a little bit of update on some of those important things that have been going on around on the Treasure Coast. Let me tell you, 2020 has not been what I'd call a good year.
No.
I'm ready for this to get done between COVID and flooding in Hope Sound, and now structural problems with the bridge. My goodness, you and I share the same building. I'm upstairs, you're downstairs, and we overlook the Roosevelt Bridge. We're right here.
Yes.
And we have just had a major problem with that recently. So lots of things going on locally. So I'm happy to give you whatever information you would like and any updates I can help you with.
Okay, well, all right. Well, let's start with the bridge, because, I mean, that's got to be the leading news story right now. Originally, we had heard that a piece of the bridge had fallen down, and out of an abundance of caution, they closed down one side of the bridge, and then they sent inspectors in there. They looked at the cabling that went through the other span that they were using for traffic both ways, and decided, yeah, maybe we ought to close this side too. We don't like the corrosion going on the cabling. And that's as far as I know. What else do we know?
Well, the inspections actually started as a routine inspection on Monday. And DOT comes in and does inspections every 2 years.
Right.
And there's a very consistent routine schedule for this. And they started it on Monday. And they noticed some problems on the southbound lane. And they started over there and really started looking there. And I don't know if you've driven there. You see this giant contraption they have that looks like a big cherry picker.
Right.
And they're up there, looking and really inspecting on the exterior first. And that's when they noticed the big crack. They saw the crack, and perhaps some of what they did dislodged some concrete. We're not sure what caused that to fall. But there was a piece of concrete that did fall. And at that point, they became very concerned. And of course, they were very concerned about the crack they saw. So they started looking inside the bridge at that point as well. Now, they always do that anyway.
Right.
But they really started a little ahead of schedule going on the inside. Usually they do the outside, and then I'm not sure. I'm not an engineer. I don't know how they do this, but from what I'm surmising, they have a very routine way of doing this, very systematic way of doing it. But they got concerned, very concerned, and decided to, when they went inside the bridge and they saw, this is on the south side lane, southbound, they saw, again, that corrosion and extensive corrosion in one part, in one span. Now, normally a bridge inspection takes about 2 weeks. So they're just at the very beginning of this, although I can tell you they have expedited this exponentially. They have got major people in there. I've had many conversations with the Department of Transportation. Actually, I was on the phone with the director, the secretary of the Department of Transportation, Kevin Thiebold, just yesterday, and he really told me that they will do everything they can as quickly as they can, and they are going full steam ahead and using every bit of energy they have and bringing the top-notch people in to do this inspection. We are I can tell you that Representative Oberdorf and myself and the County Commissioner Doug Smith was there yesterday. The city is very involved, of course, in this as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Mayor Mike Myers was there. So we had the press conference yesterday. And all our city and county engineers are very involved in this. So we are really doing a team approach to address this problem. We're making sure we keep very much abreast of this. And the latest update is that the testing now on Wednesday, they started looking at the north side just because they were putting traffic over that. And on the interior, they did see some corrosion, certainly not to the extent that we have on the south side. So again, in an abundance of caution, they closed that down as well. Because of the fall, they had that chunk of concrete fall out. They have closed the old Roosevelt Bridge.
Right,
Those of us who remember the old days. This was back in 1993 when they first started this, and the Roosevelt Bridge was what is now the A1A bridge, and that was our only bridge.
Mm-hmm.
They closed down the old Roosevelt Bridge. As a result, of course, we have no north-south traffic.
Right.
And US 1 is the major thoroughfare going through US 1 all the way up to Port St. Lucie, Fort Pierce. It's the Treasure Coast. It's our artery. It's our lifeblood.
Right.
And when this closes down, we have a major problem.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the sheriff's involved, the city police are involved, and trying to reroute traffic. It's been a major endeavor. I cannot tell you. I just want to praise them to high heavens. The city police, the sheriff, they have just done an amazing job. The Sheriff Snyder, the chief of police, they're just amazing. And this is a major endeavor. What we have done is requested, and it should be in place now. We've had a couple incidents where maybe it wasn't, but we are lifting the tolls on the turnpike in Martin Downs, Becker Road, and Port St. Lucie Boulevard. Lightning just went off around here.
I know it.
Woo.
Yes, we can hear it.
Yes.
It sounded like an audio sound effect from my end.
Yes, it was right out my window.
Wow. Now we got it here now.
Yes, you got it here now. I am not in the office upstairs. I am at home. Yesterday, it took 45 minutes for me to go.
Mm-hmm.
I live just under 3 miles from my office.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me 45 minutes.
Right.
I could walk it faster.
Right.
If I could cross the bridge, I could walk it faster.
Well, I live at Cedar Point, and it is a 10-minute car ride. Very easy at 35 miles an hour. It's a very easy car ride to go there. And the other day, it took me, I left here at 6:08, and I got home at 7:08.
Yes.
1 hour.
Yeah.
To travel a 10-minute trip.
You could have walked that faster.
Yeah, I could have.
I would have parked a car somewhere in the middle and then came back an hour or so later and picked it up.
If I wasn't hurting with a broken foot, I probably would have.
No.
Yes.
Well, I left the office at 7 because I waited until I thought the traffic would be down. And I waited until 7, and I got home about 5 of 8.
Wow. Now, what about the Army Corps of Engineers? I guess they have to. There's probably a litany of check boxes they need to check before they get that far. But I'm wondering, on a temporary basis, if it looks like we're going to be out of action for an extended period of time, if they can construct a temporary bridge.
Oh, that would be most difficult.
Yeah.
What we're looking at is, in the latest update I got today, is we will know probably on Wednesday of next week, at least about the northbound bridge, the one that has the minimal damage.
Mm-hmm.
We know more, and what they're doing is they're calculating the weight load and saying how many how bad is the damage? Can it be? Is it significant? And is it dangerous? Things can be fixed and you can still use the bridge at the same time if it is structurally sound and you can bear the weight of traffic on it. So that's a major calculation that they will be doing. And we should have some information by this coming Wednesday. So it'll be a full week of misery.
Mhm.
But Wednesday we may know more. Now on the southbound lane, they have 10 trailer trucks coming in tonight, and all day tomorrow and all day Sunday. They're going to be putting up giant supports. So and making sure that we don't have falling concrete, and they're going to be putting giant supports underneath that southbound lane. Now, what that's going to do, perhaps, is depending on how those structures, that support system is and how much room it takes right there on A1A, where that goes in. Right there as you're going into that back kind of nice entrance into the Sailor's Return.
Right.
They're going to be really embracing that. And if there is adequate room, they will open the old Roosevelt Bridge. But we won't know that until that superstructure is put in place.
Mm-hmm.
And we won't know what we can do on the northbound lane until they make all those calculations and they do more inspections. Let me tell you the number of people they have brought in. It's unbelievable. And they've brought in specialty engineers, different companies they're bringing in. They're going full steam ahead. And they are working all weekend. They are going to be really expediting this inspection. And they will be doing the calculations. If it looks, depending on how much weight they can put in there and still work on the repairs, and they'll doing the repairs, they will allow traffic on that northbound lane. And what that will do, it's really geared for, you could possibly do 4 lanes on that, 2 lanes each way. You might do 3 lanes, which would probably be a little better to accommodate. And you could do a reverse flow, depending on the time of day. In the morning, people are coming into Stewart. In the evening, people are leaving Stewart. So you could do a reverse flow. Those conversations will all be had over this next week or the week after. I think we've got another 2 weeks for sure, a week for sure, and maybe 2 weeks of
analysis. Oh yeah, mm-hmm. Closure and analysis, right?
Serious analysis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The damage to that southbound bridge is going to take probably some time to fix. Given the preliminary information we've received, it is significant, and it will take some time to fix. But if we can get at least some traffic flow and deal with that in the short term, and we should have more information by next Wednesday, I would say.
All right.
So, I'm happy to come back on next week and give you the latest update.
Oh, very good. All right. That's the date.
We're going to hold you to that.
Yes. Very good. Yeah, that's marvelous.
I can tell you that the legislative delegation has worked very, very closely with the county and with the city and with the department in Tallahassee. We are all united in our desire to make sure that we do everything possible to expedite this inspection and expedite the work that has to be done, and do it very carefully. We want to make sure that everyone is safe.
Absolutely.
And that's the most important thing. Everybody needs to be safe. It's very inconvenient at the moment, but we will, we'll get through this. Right. The Treasure Coast is a community.
We will soldier on, indeed.
Yes.
So what?
My advice.
Go ahead.
My advice to everybody is go west.
Go west. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Sewell's Point is seriously hammered with traffic. Yeah. So, yes.
Well, that's because everyone east, like
Yeah.
myself and you,
Right.
we I'm not going to go all the way out to I-95 or the Turnpike when I only have to stay east
Right.
of US 1.
Right. Right.
So,
Yes. Yes.
And I noticed this morning through
then-
Rio, it was, wow, the traffic was unbelievable.
Back in the day, Stewart would become a parking lot, you know.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yes.
Living on the north side of the bridge, I've
Yes.
lived that my whole life.
Yes,
And working in Stewart.
Right.
Yes.
And God forbid the train would get stuck on the track at the same time. And we had some of those moments too. So
Yes.
Oh, yes. So tell us about Hope Sound. I'm anxious to hear about that.
Yes, Hope Sound. My goodness, we were down there last week. And, you know, it was pouring down rain a minute ago here. And I saw the radar earlier today on Hope Sound, and they were just getting creamed again. And we had that one tropical storm sitting off the East Coast for a little while. It was a tropical depression. It wasn't a storm. It wasn't a named storm.
Right.
But that dumped a record amount of rain on Hope Sound. And we had major flooding. And it was we had 30 days of significant rain, 10 days of major rain, 30 inches of rain in 10 days in Hope Sound. We had some north, but not nearly what Hope Sound had during that period. And part of the problem is there are neighborhoods there where the drainage is needs some help and needs some work, and we're working with the county on that. You have neighborhoods that back up on Jonathan Dickinson State Park, and those neighborhoods were very affected to some degree by some of the work that had been done in Jonathan Dickinson State Park and some of the weirs that had been constructed in there. And, they're trying to really restore a lot of the wetlands in there. And the county and the park are working together to make sure that that's done appropriately and that we still have the drainage, that the water goes where it needs to go. So we're very involved in looking at that. As I said, I was down there, and I'm very concerned for the homeowners in Hope Heights.
Mm-hmm.
We lost about 18 or 19 homes there. They were totally under, a foot of water, and totally damaged. All that drywall has to be pulled out. I mean, it's a disaster, total disaster. So we're working very closely with Jared Moskowitz with the Department of Emergency Management. They have their hands full with COVID, and now we're asking for help with this flooding. But there are FEMA dollars that go through. The federal dollars come down to the state that we might have access to. So the delegation just sent a letter to Director Moskowitz asking that he look very specifically at the request that Martin County has put in actually over the last 2 years to try and get some FEMA dollars to either purchase some of those homes and do retention areas so that you can put drains in and move the water down into a retention area, or assist the homeowners with and do some major drainage in the area.
Mm-hmm.
I think FEMA has the ability to do that. So we're pushing now to see if we can't get that done for those homeowners. Also, we sent a letter as a delegation to requesting that the county commission look at their Sadowski dollars. And we were hoping there was a way to get state dollars, but there's different state dollars from Sadowski. But there are Sadowski dollars that the county does have that perhaps could be used to help local homeowners who were damaged to get into a temporary facility, into rent for a temporary home while their homes are being repaired.
Yeah.
But it's a very complex situation. We're all we are looking very carefully at the drainage there and trying to get some state dollars to assist Martin County in doing some of the drainage over in Hope Heights, but also the Jonathan Dickinson State Park on the other side of US 1.
Right.
Where that was all backed up. We're working very hard to see what kind of money we can help, and to really, the county and the park need to have these serious conversations, which they have started to have. So I can't tell you how impressed I am with the county commission and with the engineer, with Don Donaldson, and here again, Representative Oberdorf, Representative Magar, and I are all united. We're working very closely with the county commission. Harold Jenkins, Commissioner Jenkins down in Hope Sound, has been integral in all of this. So, we're all united. We're working very closely together. And the letters went out this week, and as well as many phone calls. But we have to do the formal letter. Many phone calls to people at the state level so that we can see what can be done to expedite some of this drainage that needs to happen in those areas. But when I looked at that sky and I saw that lightning and thunder, and I'm thinking, oh my
Here
goodness.
we go. Yeah.
Here we go again. My heart goes out to those folks.
Right.
I was down there just, I guess it was Thursday last week, that Steve Layton with Congressman Mass' office had a big event to assist people in really starting some remediation, some pulling out of the wall and things to really clean out the stuff out of those houses. And it was a community effort. You know, here again, this is the Treasure Coast. This is who we are.
Right.
People come together. The Hope Sound community came together, and there are 250 volunteers out there. And the sheriff's office had the barbecue going, and it was just terrific. The amount of community support. Waste management was picking up all the stuff that night. You had various volunteer groups pulling out drywall. It was just phenomenal.
Well, that's heartwarming. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. It's better than people just standing at the curb with their hands on their hips saying, yep, you got a problem here. Better that. Yes, indeed.
Better that.
Well, very good. Well, thank you so much, Senator Gail Harrell, for taking so much of your time out of your busy day to visit with us and our listeners to kind of bring us up to speed as to what's going on all around our Treasure Coast area. And we are very thankful we have you and all our other good quality representatives looking out after our interests. And we appreciate you very much. And we thank you for
much. It's a delight to be on your show, and I'll be happy. Give me a call and see what we can set up. I'll give you the latest update next week, and we'll know what I can, tell you what we know at that point. I'd also encourage people to go on the Florida Department of Transportation website, and they're establishing a Facebook page that will be specific to the bridge.
Excellent.
So, and a separate website for the bridge issue. So people need to keep very much up to date on what is happening and what the traffic patterns need to be.
Righto. Well, we thank you so much, and we appreciate that, and we'll definitely be staying in touch.
Okay, thanks so much. Great to talk to you, and have a wonderful weekend, and stay safe.
Thank you.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.
We'll be right back. All right, we are back.
We are back.
And things are kind of Looney Tunes in my life.
Well, it's Looney Tunes everywhere. Now they want to social, what do they call that? Correct the cartoons of when we were little.
Yes.
I think that is just going a little too far.
It is Looney Tunes. So, yes.
A little too far.
A little too loony. But this is, we're waiting for a call from
Brian Bosio,
right? The Public Information Officer,
yep.
PIO, as they say in their vernacular.
Right.
So Brian Bosio, who is a friend of the radio station, he's been here in studio with us.
I think we had him on, and he did the first live show with us.
Right.
He started on the Force.
Right.
And he was nervous. Remember?
He was.
And slowly but surely, it was fun.
Oh yeah.
He brought his son in a couple times, and then he just went on, and now he's like a pro. He does Top Cop in the morning, so it doesn't get any better when you talk to Brian, and he knows exactly what's going on all over Stewart. So, Mr. Brian Bosio, I don't know what the designation is now. Are you executive under chief?
No, I'm going to need a little more time for that. I am still a sergeant.
Okay.
And in the PIO and with the community relations unit. So not executive assistant chief yet. I need a few more years for that.
Okay. All right. Next week.
But I want to thank you for getting up and being able to call in this afternoon. It was a short notice.
I miss coming in and seeing you guys, although I have seen you two outside of the studio at little events, and I've seen Frank over at the Flagler Center, and so we have not seen each other. We just haven't been together in the studio. So
that's right.
I look forward to coming back.
Yes.
Well, we hope that we can have someone come back, sooner than later. But until all this social distancing goes away, it's hard for us to keep, 6-8 feet apart.
Of course. So, well, we'll just do it over the phone and make do. What I'm curious about is how Frank broke his foot.
Oh, no good deed gets rewarded. So I was actually helping a minister. I was painting his bedroom, guest bedroom, and I came off the ladder the wrong way. So.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
was it a bad break or?
Yeah, it's a metatarsal, so it never it doesn't heal right. It just never heals. So
see, I thought he just had a tendon pulled. I didn't know he broke his foot because he's never told me that.
Yeah.
Well, I my first thought was you broke it at some fantasy camp with the Tigers, but with COVID, I knew that wasn't going on, so I needed to find out.
No, God, no. I did. Most of my injuries did come from fantasy camp, so it was a realistic thought that you did have. So, yeah,
it's funny. The first thing that popped into my mind.
Right? No, I rolled my ankle attempting to slide in the third, and that was, I think, on the last day of fantasy camp. At least I did it on the last day.
Right.
That's why you got to do it the right way.
Right.
Face first. Hands out front, like Pete Rose style.
Pete Rose, eat some dirt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, how is everyone handling this traffic situation around Stewart?
Well, it depends on who you ask. I don't know if you can tell that my voice sounds a little bit
raspy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little raspy. Well, that's an indication of the amount of hours and time we've been putting in on the situation. For the most part, it's worked out very well. Our leadership with the agency, our captains, our chief, really took charge. And actually, when we first found out about this situation, Sergeant David Duran is working a midnight shift, and all of this came to his attention right then and there. And he made a necessary phone calls, but he took charge, and he really put together a plan for northbound, southbound traffic that night. Obviously in the northbound lanes, and really managed this amazingly. I really have to give so much credit to the Captain Hurtado, Captain Ross, and Sergeant Duran, because when I got called in at 2:30 in the morning that night, I mean, literally traffic was going both ways, and they had everything moving. So really kudos to them. But so I would say that, the way we're handling the situation is obviously the best that we can.
Mm-hmm.
I think the layout we have now is the best possible layout. in such a bad situation. But as the days have gone on, people have realized what's going on. They've chosen their alternative route. So really, at the north and south ends of the bridge have been rather quiet, especially this morning. Traffic is, just people are totally avoiding the area. So right now, things are good. At first, we did have to deal with a lot of people that were frustrated, late for work, and who can blame them? But we did the best that we could do, and I think it'll work itself out. It's going to take some time, but we are certainly prepared to take care of this and do what we need to do to keep people safe.
Well, you have to leave early. You have to pick a route and
Absolutely.
leave early. Don't leave at the exact same time you always did, a half hour earlier, maybe an hour earlier to get to where you need to go, and be patient coming home.
Absolutely. Today I came into work at about 3:30 p.m. and coming from Jensen, going Indian River Drive to Sewell's Point into the city was a breeze. I mean, there was no traffic whatsoever. But boy, did I feel sorry for those folks leaving the city.
Oh, I did too.
Into Sewell's Point. Oh, it was backed up well into East Ocean, all the way to Monterey Road. So
it was, because I came the same time. I didn't know how long it was going to take me to get to the station, so I left at 3:30, and I breezed right through.
Yeah.
But going home now at 6 o'clock, haha, I'll
it's
stop
all
at the Dollar
all about
Tree.
timing. Yeah. But we'll get through it. It's going to be frustrating, and it's going to be difficult. But the big thing is no one got hurt. That
was
the most important thing.
amazing.
It could have been a lot worse.
Yep.
So
Amazing.
We're thankful for that.
Yes. Now I have a question.
Sure.
All the businesses that are down by the old Roosevelt Bridge, the Talk House, the Tide House, the Deck Restaurant, can patrons get to them?
They can, yes. They can get to those businesses. They can't get any further than Fern Street, which is the entrance to the Harborage.
Right.
So, so they will be able to get there. I'm sure this has been detrimental to their business, and that's a shame, especially, in these days. But they can get there. It's just no further than Fern Street, like basically where the Deck Restaurant is there.
Right, and that's where they close it off for the boat show every year.
Yes.
So I wondered about that, because I had a lot of customers actually call me and say, we want to go here. I said, well, maybe you better call someone in the county to see what's open. I said, I would think that it would be open to that point, like you said, Fern Street, but I'm not there and I can't tell you. So this was great. Now I have a little knowledge about that.
Sure. And I really do feel for the businesses in the area, because obviously, people are just going to simply not come downtown because of the inconvenience. And that's a shame, because, a lot of these businesses just reopened recently and trying to get back on track. So, hopefully this will not take too long and we can get back on track. So,
well, people on the south side of the bridge can go downtown. They might like that more, because they can get there easier and find a parking spot.
Absolutely. That's very true. If you're south of the city, it's easy. It's just once you get north of that bridge, well, you got to go a long way around. That's
yep,
for sure.
You got to have big wings on.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, very good. Well, hey, we'll give you an opportunity to rest your voice. And
thank you.
And I'll touch base with you next Friday to see where you're at and what shift you're on.
I would absolutely. I would love to call in, and
that would be great,
and give you an update on our end. I'd love to do that.
And I want to thank you for coming on the morning show too, because I've heard you a couple mornings on, the Get Up and Go show with Bonnie and Evan.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Evan's a lot of fun. Bonnie's wonderful. It's a fun show to be on. So I've had a lot of fun doing that.
Good.
Hopefully I'd like to really get more involved and, become a more regular on your show like we did in the past.
There you go.
Once we lift all these restrictions. So looking forward to that.
Excellent. Good. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Brian.
Right.
You have a great night and stay safe out there. Be well.
Thank you.
Sergeant Brian Bazio from the Stewart PD. We thank him very much for being here with us today, and we thank you for listening. We're going to take a little time out, and then we'll be right back, so stick with us. Are you ready for the good, the bad, and the ugly?
We have it every night. We have that now. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
We
Now, do you have good and bad and the ugly, or is it just me?
Just you.
Just me.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got nothing. I
Okay.
mean, I've got my items ripped from the headlines
Oh, okay.
when
But
you finish
The
that.
good this week is
Yes.
things are opening up.
Yes.
The bathtub beach is now open. Turtles are nesting.
Mhm.
The green market is now on Sundays from 9 to 1 at Flagler Park. And with the bridge in compromise, you
Mhm.
can still go around the world, or the people in the south part of the county can come
Right.
and go to Flagler Park.
Right.
Also, tomorrow, Saturday, is the first Saturday that the Fort Pierce flea market will be open on the waterway in downtown Fort Pierce.
Mhm.
And I think that's also from 9 to 1 or 9 to 12 also. They
What?
have it
Fort Pierce.
Fort Pierce.
Yeah.
At the marina.
Right.
There.
Yeah. Ours is 9 to 1.
Okay.
Right.
So the bad is we're on an upswing with the COVID-19 virus. We
Mhm.
had more cases in, I think, all of the counties.
Mhm.
And the very ugly is the Roosevelt Bridge.
Yes.
I mean, it did. No one got hurt.
Yes.
That was actually a good thing,
right. Right.
But no
the
one.
traffic is
The
ugly.
traffic and
Yes.
everyone trying to get home, and it's a 15-minute ride, and all of a sudden it takes you an hour and a half, and you have to just bring snacks with you, bring a drink, bring a little cooler with you, because
Right.
people get testy when they get hungry.
They do.
Oh,
They do?
you're a good avenue for that. Get a little testy, get a little irritable,
Yeah.
and then it starts road rage. And where are you going to go?
Yeah. All right.
So just take your time,
Mhm.
or do an errand on the way home.
Right.
Stop for a few minutes and do something. And then it doesn't seem like the time is so long, because once that initial crowd
Right.
flattens out,
Yeah.
you can get around a lot easier.
Go to the Wendy's drive-through. There
Right.
you go.
Yeah.
And get yourself one of those.
I think the food trucks should be out at certain
There you go.
locations,
Oh yeah. there you go.
and doing curbside,
Perfect.
running up, where are, the Degler treats, the carnival treats. They could be set up along the way, or a lemonade stand with the kids,
Mhm. All right.
hot dogs,
Okay, so that completes your
the good, the bad,
the bad,
and the ugly.
and the ugly. All right. All right. So we have
You have ripped from the news, or
news ripped from the headlines. Yes.
which are a little corny most of the time. But I have to sit here and watch Frank laugh, because sometimes he's the only one laughing.
But
He really enjoys this. It
Yes.
tickles him to death,
it's true.
and he can't find them right now.
Right? I
Yeah.
know. It's probably where is that? So,
And there's still, I have to say,
Yes.
people are still worried about the COVID-19 and the virus.
yes.
The people, you should wear a mask when you go to Publix.
Mhm.
I don't know what the commissioners passed today, because they were going to see about making people in the restaurants and different places I think they should wear a mask,
Make it
personally.
mandatory.
Mandatory.
Yeah. All right.
But I don't know if they did that or not.
We'll find out. It'll be in the morning paper, I'm sure. Okay, so here we go. This is items ripped from the headlines. Okay. Black History Month will be held February 23rd. The whole month will be on one day. It's, ex-minister breaks the silence, but says nothing. Hospital resorts to hiring doctors. Imagine that. She's just staring at me.
Did you know that the pool in the Titanic still has water in it?
Yes, that's probably true. Forecasters call for weather on Monday. Weather.
They do that every day. We were supposed to have weather all last weekend. Everyone changed their plans. It
Right.
didn't rain.
No.
Not in our, nook of the world.
Right. No, I know. It's wonderful. So, okay. So we're going to the next. I got just a couple more. See now. I should have shared this with Brian. He would have liked this. This is at 5:00 p.m. Police were called to Market Square for a report about a suspicious coin. Investigating officer reported it was a quarter. Okay. A deputy responded to a report of vehicles stopping at all the mailboxes. Turns out it was the mailman.
Oh, that was bad.
Man tries to open a checking account with a shotgun slung over his shoulder. Well, at least he's putting money in the
Right.
account. So,
Well, you used to, if you went to the bank with a mask on, you
Right.
used to call 911 right away. Now
right,
there's no difference.
Right.
They want you to wear a mask at the drive-through.
right. Now you know that the puppy, the type of dog, the Jack Russell, is a terrier, right?
Right.
And see, I gotta go back.
They have a lot of energy and they're yippy.
Yes, they are. And oh, good golly, I hate these commercials that show up. Okay, so we're skipping that. So this requires a little bit of Looney Tunes music because Jack Russell terrorist puppies, 2 boys, 2 girls. 5 weeks old, $400 each. So if you want to terrorize your children, get them a Jack Russell. So she just stares at me. When is he going to stop? Make it stop. Oh, God. Bugs flying around with wings are called flying bugs. These are headlines.
I know that.
This is a baseball one that I liked. Okay. So
Okay.
this is obviously the person that wrote this headline is not a baseball person. Amphibious pitcher makes debut. Now, this is a ambidextrous pitcher. He can pitch from the right or
And he
left
said
side.
amphibious. Amphibious, like he can
Underwater.
Right.
So he must be a submarine pitcher. Yes. But it's like, oh, God. So anyways, it's just, I love it. It's amphibious.
That's almost as good
You
as
can't make this up.
episiotomy.
Right. That was, oh yes. That tickled me to no end. Oh my God. This is a headline about this would have been, every year we talk about the spring forward and fall back.
Right.
So this would be the fall back.
Right.
Where you get that extra hour of
Right.
sleep. So the headline is this weekend, don't miss that extra hour of sleep. So don't miss that extra hour of sleep. Don't forget to do that.
Right. To sleep an extra hour. Yes. Do you know that we're going to
but
tomorrow?
So you wake up and you woke up late.
Right.
And
you could sleep another hour.
And you read the headline in the morning paper. Oh, I missed it already. That's the part that tickles
Sunday
me.
is the starting of summer.
Yes.
And we have a solstice solar eclipse, we're not going to be able to see it. I don't think here. It's going to be on over in India and Pakistan and that side of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to start Saturday at midnight and end at like 4 in the morning or 4:30 in the morning on Sunday morning. So we won't see that much of it, but just to let you know what's going on. And Mercury went into retrograde, which means that you have short fuses. Electronics go bad, or your hot water tank will break. It's all about mechanics.
Wait a minute. You said hot water tank?
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a hot water tank.
Why? I have one.
No, nobody has a hot water tank. Hot water doesn't need heating. You have a water heater.
Frank,
there's no such thing.
Since I've been a little girl. If
Yes.
I called you up and I said, Frank, I need a hot water tank, you would know exactly what I was
would
talking
be laughing because I'd say you already have one if you have hot water.
Well, you don't when your hot water tank goes out.
Right. But there is no such thing as a hot water.
Oh, go back to your news.
I love it. But yes.
It's okay.
Yes.
I'm done.
Yes. You're done. No, don't be done. Did you thank Judy, the ladies
did.
for me? Thank
I
you
did.
so
I
much.
thanked Judy, and she brought me the paper in today.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Yes.
She's a wonderful lady.
Yes, and the cookies.
And they are going to have
were marvelous.
the shredding on. I run the 18th of July.
Right.
So if
Okay.
anyone that has shredding can go to the North River Shores Presbyterian Church.
Mm-hmm. Will they be selling bakeware too?
That I don't know. I don't know. It's hands free, so I don't think so. You don't have to get out of your car.
Oh,
But in the fall, they are going to have another rummage sale
okay.
in the fall, so they'll have baked goods there.
Mm.
So she makes those, I think, for the Sunday church
Mhm.
for the coffee break,
Right.
and I think they're just starting back on that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all the churches are starting back to social distance in the churches, and you can still Zoom them,
St. Monica's.
or
I
you
mean,
can still stream them.
if you call St. Monica's, they are still. They're just doing the virtual thing.
They are,
Yeah. So
because this would have been the day for St. Monica's,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so that didn't happen.
No.
So I'm wondering maybe next month.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's all takeout,
Mm-hmm.
they could just
Yeah.
do takeout.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
St. Mary's.
We need to
St.
have.
Joseph is now what they're doing with their mass schedule. Yeah, so they open up the church for masses, but they are seating every other pew.
Right.
And that if you're with somebody, you can sit together. Otherwise, everybody has to be spaced 6 feet
Right.
apart.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing.
So
that.
we need you need to reach out to Donna,
Mhm.
and maybe she can call in and give us a synopsis next week.
That would be good.
Yeah,
like to
we'd
see
like
what-
to know, because
Yeah.
your fins aren't flapping.
Oh, I know. I miss the St. Monica's
Monica's dinner,
fish. Oh, yeah.
yes.
My wife does too.
I know.
All right.
Well, another week gone by.
Gotta go.
Okay,
Bye.
happy summer. Ciao for now.